Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here tonight, we have the Pocono Raceway for the ARCA Evolution Series. What a tricky triangle we have in front of us here tonight. But here at the Evolution Racing Leagues, we have some proud partners that we need to give a special shout out to. First up is we have Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com. Next, we have Sheffield Graphics, the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics and tell them Freaky Fast sent you. Next, we have ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to ButtKicker.com and you can feel what you've been missing, and you can also use Freaky Fast 20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at ButtKicker.com. And thank you to the proud partners here at the Evolution Racing League and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But I am Zach Hall up in the booth here tonight at the Tricky Triangle. I will have Brandon Colley alongside me calling the action with Robert Moyer Jr. up here in the production box. And man, Brandon, we are back here with the ARCA series, man. Here at the Tricky Triangle, what can we expect here tonight? 40 laps. Should be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I think we're going to be expecting to see some pretty loose race cars out there. This track's already a handful, but these ARCA cars, they don't always like to turn that well, and that'll give you a nice snap loose sensation, especially out of turn 1 and turn 3. Seen a couple guys have issues with that already in practice. And, well, they're only going to have the one set of tires, I believe, here, so trying to figure out when's the optimal time to take your pit stop to get those fresh tires. Undercut might be pretty good here. Track position going to be pretty key.
Now, also, with the 55% fuel load we have here tonight, Brandon, that's kind of going to play a tricky little situation into the strategy here, possibly. Could tonight be a two-stop? I mean, 40 laps here tonight, you definitely on a full tank of fuel could do it in a one-stop, but I think here with a 55% tank, you may. I really think it's going to have to be a two-stop, and with only one set of tires in that pit box, you're going to have to decide, like we seen last week, when you want to take those tires and when you don't. And it definitely played out for a very interesting race for us at Kentucky.
And that is going to be the big talking point, I think. How close they are to making it on a one stop. Maybe if you save a little bit of fuel, can you do it on a one stop? I think if you're able to stretch it to that one stop, that would be the winning strategy. A little bit less time on pit road here could give you just enough of a gap that you're going to be able to stretch it out and hang on just enough for the win. But we will have to see exactly when they're able to make it on fuel and how much laps they're going to have left after that. See if anybody takes that gamble.
Well, we've seen it play off last week at Kentucky. Very interesting strategy race, how that all played out with really only one caution in that race. So we have known to go caution free here in this ARCA series, and the guys put on a heck of a show here. So I think we could see that play out here tonight, and could we see Anthony Gaudio go back-to-back? I mean, last week he just looked super dominant, leading 58 laps at Kentucky. I'm excited to see what he can put down, see if he can get up to that 4 win total here as we're watching him here in the final moments of practice in that 3. If he can't hit that 4 in the number of wins in the column, I mean, he's starting to put pressure on Smarola and our points leader, David Edwards, of being one of the guys to really watch when it comes down to that playoffs.
Well, in practice here, Anthony in third, showing a pretty good speed, just about a tenth off of our leader, Chris Merle, sitting in second place, also trying to chase down the points lead here from David Edwards. I think Anthony Gaudio has a really good shot at it, but Chris Merle, he's always seemed to be right there, just was missing a little bit of the pace last week in Kentucky. Seems to have gotten it back here today at Pocono, so I'm sure we're going to be seeing Chris Merle up here contending for the lead. And the one difference I think for this race that we're normally going to see at Pocono is that the draft not going to be too much of a factor as far as guys being able to drive away here. Just the handling of the ARCA cars. I think if you're a bit more conservative on the short run, able to take care of your stuff, you're going to be able to pull a gap out, and the draft is not going to be able to keep these guys tucked in behind you, constantly leaving you under threat.
Yeah, this is going to play out completely different, I think, than what we'll see the Cup race later play out. And speaking of Cup Series, as we enter qualifying here in the ARCA Series, one of our ARCA drivers did actually get a Cup Series win last week there at Kentucky, and that was Jeff Carson in the 81. So congrats to him. And I seen, I was looking through the general chat here in the Discord. At the Evolution Racing Leagues and looking there for the ARCA guys, and all of them were so excited. They said a lot of guys are saying, ARCA driver getting to win the Cup Series is a win for all the drivers in the ARCA Series, and I can't agree more. And it's really cool to see Jeff Carson go out there and get the win.
Yeah, I think it being the feeder series to the Cup Series, Zach. These guys, when they see somebody get the call ups for a fill and roll, everybody becomes a fan of that guy, even though you're racing him just an hour or so before, and one of your maybe biggest competition. But as soon as he gets that call up, you're like, man, go out there and show him how good we are down here, and that not only yourself but all of us deserve a cup ride as well. And to go out there and maybe not have the best speed most of the race and had some bad luck, but just played the strategy exactly right, able to come there up to the front when it really mattered there, to really steal the win and come out of nowhere. A really good underdog story, I'd say, for Kentucky, especially.
Oh, it was, and it's kind of cool to see because it was on the Zab Motorsports team there that really made that same strategy call at Charlotte to get Kevin Zabladil a win in the Cup Series. So I really like that team's ideas, and it's cool to see just the relationship between the ARCA and the Cup Series. I mean, this is the feeder series, like you said, Brandon. This is how you got to make it up to the top dogs. And man, it's just cool to see these guys taking the stepping stone, and then the guys get an opportunity and take advantage of it. And that's what we've seen here. Is looks like qualifying. First couple laps being put down. Looks like Chris Sparrow there put his second lap down. He'll go to the top of the board with that time, looking to pull home the Sheffield Graphics pole award there with a 55.25 so far through our first 3 minutes of this qualifying session. And speaking of Smurl, gotta say congrats to him and his family out there as they are welcoming a newborn child to their family, and that's great for him. And definitely, he's always got a great group of family members out there watching him and rooting him on. And we thank you all for tuning in, and congratulations on the newborn child.
And unfortunately, they did not name the little baby Zach. So.
Oh.
Much to the
Well,
benefit
actually,
of the poor
I
little
remember
girl
last
that
week.
would have been named Zach. But congratulations either way. It was really funny to see how happy he was when they came back from the hospital. I believe it was Friday or Saturday last week. Saw him pop up and posting pictures and stuff. So really happy to get back home and start with the new addition to the family there.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a great way to, kick off a new addition to your family is get another win here in this ARCA series. I mean, the guy's got 5 to his name so far this season, and that 14. Right now, though, he's looking at last week's winner on top of him on that board, as Anthony Gaudio has taken that top spot and looking to pull off the Sheffield Graphics pole. I believe looks like, trying to see if there's any other drivers out here attempting a lap, Brandon. I think that is mostly it for the drivers out there, and I think Anthony Gaudio could pretty much be wrapped up as your Sheffield Graphics pole winner. And I tell you what, that's a great way for him to start up front. And remember, this is somewhat of a home track for this guy also, so he likes the sights and sounds here, and he's out front now with a good view.
Yeah, we talked to him last week. He said, he loved Watkins Glen. It was a home track, but Pocono, not too far away. Really looked forward to coming here as well, and considered it another home track. And he's showing that he spent a lot of time here. Really enjoys this place, top of the board right now. Have to see if he can keep it there during the race.
That's going to be the tough situation. Tires here going to be everything at this 2.5-mile raceway here in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here to Freaky Fast Broadcasting as our qualifying session has come to an end. And we'll go ahead and pull up our grid here for our Pocono 40 here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series. As you see, Anthony Gaudio starting from the first position there as he's your Sheffield Graphics pole winner. Second's going to go to Christopher Schmerol. Third is going to be Jeff Carson, last week's Cup winner. Fourth's going to go to Justin Malarkey. Fifth's going to be Matt Upbrook. Sixth's going to go to Stephen Carey. Seventh is James Wright. Eighth, Richard Gonzalez. Ninth's going to go to Justin Hendry. 10th, David Edwards. 11th's going to be Zach Sandlin. 12th, Michael Haru. 13th's going to go to Matthew Dude. 14th, Steven Rasick. 15th is Steve Potter. And rounding out your field in the 16th position is Bob Fitzpatrick Sr., as that is your starting grid here tonight for the Pocono 40 here at the Pocono Raceway. Let's go ahead and bring up our Sheffield Graphics pole winner of Anthony Gaudio from JCR Racing and see what he has to say about sitting on the front row here and leading us to green. Here with Brandon.
Hey, Anthony, it's Brandon up in the booth, bud. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, congratulations on getting the Sheffield Graphics pole here at Pocono. We know, talked to you last week. You said it was like a home track for you. Felt pretty excited to be here, and you're showing the speed already. And got a chance to go back-to-back here today. But not only that, if you can manage to finish in the top 3, that'll be 4 consecutive races in the top 3. Do you think that's a possibility here tonight?
So, man. Chris is looking fast out there tonight. So as long as I can keep up with him and keep my tires alive, and I would love to have that.
Well, actually, looking at it here, I think this would be 6. 6 in the top 3. You've got a big streak going on here, man. Excited to see what you guys can
I'm trying
get
to
out of it.
Alive. Fingers crossed.
We talked in the early part of the broadcast here about the fuel mileage. Is this going to be a 2-stop for you guys, or do you think you can stretch it to 1 stop?
I'm being told it's 1 stop. So I got my tires checked off this time, so we'll see. I don't know.
All right, man. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do. Keep the fenders clean out here. Take care of the tires, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing, bud. Good luck.
You got it, man. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. There you heard it from your Sheffield Graphics pole winner of Anthony Gaudio, starting back out front. Man, what a streak he does have going there, Brandon. Great. Looking through the stats there and finding that there, because that guy's been on a roll, man. But like you said, Smerol very fast. Can't forget about Carson there in the 81. Malarkey lurking there in 4th. Upbrook in 5th. And look at our points here. David Edwards all the way back to 10th. You know, that's his MO. He doesn't qualify the best, but at some point that 15 will be in position.
Yeah, David Edwards always seems to have a lot of late-run speed, seemed to take care of his tires very well. Like you said, doesn't qualify very well, but he always contends he's points leader for a reason. Hasn't had the most wins, but definitely has a lot of consistency.
Well, looks like we're going to get it all happening here at the Pocono Raceway as the pace car will lead us down out of turn 3. It's in the pit road now. Green flag out in the air. Anthony Gaudio off and away, but look at this dead even start here. Look at Jeff Carson going to make it 3 wide down into 1 here on lap 1. This could be calamity.
Yeah, bold move, Cotton. See if it pays off. Looks like they're going to keep it dead even here. Jeff Carson backing way out. Make sure he doesn't slide up the track. Going to lose a bit of position, getting a bit loose on the inside there. Saving it. Got it saved. Nice job for the 81 of Jeff Carson.
What a save. And that's cold tires there for you guys at home. That's what it'll do. It just feels like you have no grip front or rear, and it looks like the rears went first for the 81, sending him up the racetrack. Had to save that a little bit going back down and got it back going. Lost a lot of track position, but we've seen Carson have great speed as the runs continue on. If he could just be patient here, he could slowly work his way back into position. But at the moment, coming out of 3, looks like your leader will be Chris Smerol with Anthony Gaudio 2nd and Justin Malarkey 3rd.
A lot of guys, and after the first 2 corners, they're saying, whoa, it's really loose, just trying to hang on right now, let these tires come up to temp. And we've got some cloud cover now, so it's going to take a little bit longer to get these tires up to optimal temperatures to handle the way these guys want to, and it's the most dangerous point of the race. The restarts and cold tires here. Pocono does lend itself to long green flag runs if you can get through the first couple laps from the restart and avoid calamity when the cars are all packed together. You see them pretty much all single file now, and now it's just hitting your marks, taking care of your stuff, and tracking guys down ahead of you.
Oh, and
Malarkey.
No! What a hit! Oh, and we have a big wreck here back here. The 81 of Carson is around. Oh no, our third place man here in qualifying. Looks like hard hit for him as we'll have to go back on our freaking fast replay and see exactly what happened as, man, Carson trying to make up positions as it looks like going down here into the tunnel turn. Looks like that is the 15 of David Edwards on the outside. Oh, it looks like I think Edwards was coming down the racetrack to cut almost to cross over. And just the timing was wrong because all into the back bumper of the 81, sending him around. And man, I don't know if that's what he meant to do because other than that, just getting into the back of the 81, the only thing I can imaginally play out there in my brain, Brandon, is a crossover.
I think it was a mix of trying to do the crossover from the 15 of Edwards, and I think Carson just trying to throw it into the corner there on the bottom, had to check up a little bit right as Edwards was trying that crossover. And unfortunately, they're just getting hooked in the right rear.
Oh man, that's a hard lick for Carson as he's brought that 81 to pit road. And oh man, look here, we're right on board with David Edwards through the tunnel turn. Oh, and just the timing wasn't there. I think he might have just been trying to slide in behind him, and at the same time, Carson may have got a little bit loose. Had to check up, like you said. He went in there pretty deep. So sometimes the speeds meet like that, and that is unfortunate for the 81.
Yeah, looking at it initially, I thought maybe that Edwards was getting loose at the same time that Carson was trying to get by him. Looking at the in-car, David Edwards had his wheel pretty straight as the car was still coming back down, so he may have just been a little loose at the same time. Kind of a crossover out of necessity. The car was just heading there, so he was going to go with it. But either way, super unfortunate. David Edwards coming over the radio to apologize there. Definitely didn't mean anything intentional there or malicious for Jeff Carson. Just a bad break.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Carson, he's sitting on pit road. That car's pretty much done for. I mean, I don't know what iRacing had going on there, but the car was on hydraulics for a second. So definitely not a lot of suspension damage there for the 81 as he's brought that thing to pit road. It looks like a few other guys. Malarkey, he's going to be a driver that comes to pit road. Same with David Edwards. So a few guys trying to top off here. This caution lap's definitely going to help him for that one stop, I believe, Brandon. But it looks like Malarkey, he's getting the fenders beat out on the side at 73 because, man, did he ever knock it down when that yellow flag came out.
Yeah, I think if you are one of the guys that's in the back of the pack here, absolutely come in and top off. Make sure you do not accidentally take those tires because that'll pretty much end your race right there, taking them this early here. But yeah, I mean, you're not risking much doing it. Go ahead, fill up, be able to make it on that one stop strategy or as close as you think you can make it there. Give yourself a little bit more of an advantage over some guys that may not be able to do that. Could pay off in your benefit.
Fuel mileage is always a factor at Pocono, man. It's just one thing that when you come here, it always seems like it's something that has to do with fuel mileage. And with the way it's happening right now, I mean, if Gaudio is pretty sure they could do a one stop without the caution, then I think this caution really helps. But at the same time, it you never know, they might need it. I mean, if there's a green light checker, then they might need it. So it's such a factor when you don't know when you want to pit, and I think you want to stretch the fuel as far as you possibly can because then if the caution does come out in that second phase after the pit stops, then you have the freshest tires when they reline them back up. So, it's kind of a catch 21.
Yeah, fuel mileage races are a lot of fun if you can figure them out, and if you just events happen to put you on the good side of it. When you're trying to play that game of catch up with a fuel mileage race, it's incredibly frustrating because it doesn't seem like there's really much you can do to ever get back to even with the guys. So this early caution here, like you said, could play into if we get a green white checkered at the end, affecting them not having the fuel to make it. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Again, now we're back to another restart. These guys are gonna have to take it easy here, try to get back single filed out and get some laps on, and we should be able to go green then. It's, again, one of those things that happens with Pocono. Either you're going to get a bunch of cautions, or you're finally going to get it spread out, and you can have an entirely green flag race.
Well, we're going to have Smarole leading up front with Gaudio in the second position. Looks like Smarole's elected to take the outside lane here, Brandon. So That's what he's done as Upbrook. He's up to third. Same with Carey up to fourth with a few drivers getting in the wall, making incidents there. Carson and Malarkey are third and fourth place qualifiers having issues. It's kind of opened up that midfield.
Yeah, James Wright up to the he's in the 8th position or 6th position right now in car number 8 on the outside. They're looking to have a pretty strong run as well. Michael Haru in the 7th place, up 5 spots. Some guys gaining a couple positions early here. Steve Potter didn't have the best qualifying effort, but now up 6 positions in 9th as well. So guys slowly on the move with just a couple laps we had under green.
Well, they're going to bend through turn 3 here for the final time on pace laps, as the pace car will look to take the left-hand turn down the pit road. Sparrow with the control of the lead here. He's off and away. Green flag in the air. Great push from Stephen Carey there on the outside of the 83. That lets Sparrow clear all cars, as now double file for second as Gaudio goes to the inside of Carey.
Steven Rasick back there making some pretty aggressive moves to the inside of, I believe that was Richard Gonzalez on the start. Guys looking super loose on the restarts through turn 1 here. I think that's why Smirol opted to take the outside on the restart. If he got stuck side by side, it just seems like the car is going to handle a little bit better in that second lane.
Look at Gaudio slide back behind Matt Upbrook there in the 16. That puts Gaudio back to 4th. Carey now up to 2nd, and Upbrook now to 3rd. As look, here comes Hendry, one of the Cup Series drivers here in the ARCA Series, and he's really putting some pressure on some of these ARCA guys.
Yeah, going out getting a little bit of extra practice never hurt here, running top 5 at the moment. So pretty good run so far for Hendry. Seeing him have a lot of good speed, just kind of get caught up in a lot of things not of his making, and not get the best finishes out of it. But I think that's the story for quite a few guys. Just not having the best of luck for the runs that they've had.
The luck is definitely a huge factor, man, when it comes to racing. Trust me, some days it just feels like it's never yours, and some days it just comes to you. And you'd rather take those days more often than the latter, but just racing. But here's we ride on board around the tricky triangle here, heading down to turn 3. This corner here is made off of the Milwaukee Mile, so it's here to represent pretty much what a Milwaukee Mile corner will be. So there you see James Wright exiting now out of 3, heading down the longest front straightaway in all of NASCAR, down to turn 1, which is made after Trenton, New Jersey, then down the short, or the second longest straight down to turn 2, where you'll hit the tunnel turn. So what a amazing track this is. Combination of 3 different tracks to make up 2.5 miles of super speedway action.
Well, 2 points here, Zach. Number 1, I'm glad that they only took the corner from Trenton and not the weird configuration for their front stretch with the little bend in it.
Yep.
That'd play havoc here at Pocono. But 2, if I'm not mistaken, these guys are going to be going to the Milwaukee Mile next week, so I'd be taking all the practice you can get with turn 3.
Yeah, they might just want to just, continuously hit turn 3 to get some good practice there. So that is a great point there, Brandon. You brought up Milwaukee Mile coming up soon, and as there you see is exit out of 3. That is the corner that is supposed to be somewhat similar to the Milwaukee Mile, as it's a combination of 3 legendary racetracks to make this one legendary racetrack. So what a combination it is. Here's Hendry. As you see there, I'm here focused on him. He's the 5th place man right now, and remember, he started in 9th, so 4 positions up. He's done a really good job. He's got the battle ahead of him of Anthony Gaudio, who has now got back by Matt O'Brook for that 3rd position, as he's going to try to track down Stephen Carey as Smirol tries to pull away out from.
Smirol able to pull a slight gap, just under half a second here. Now even through turn 2, had a great turn 2, able to extend that to over half a second, slowly increasing. I think it's just Smirol being a lot more aggressive on entry than what Stephen Carey, and it looks like Stephen Carey now really feeling turn 3, able to pull in that gap here. And I think the one corner that you want to have figured out here in Pocono is going to be turn 3, just a long straightaway. You cannot afford to miss the exit and give up all that speed on exit. It will cost you positions when guys are running close.
Oh, by far, turn 3, definitely the most important turn. I would say the scariest turn by far turn 2, but when you come to the most important corners, it's the exit of turn 3 there. Like you said, leading down that long straightaway, that's how you set up passes, because 1 is a really good place to pass, in my opinion, Brandon.
It really is, and you know, the most banking of any corner on the track, and you can still run the second group pretty well, but you have to do it a really finicky way, because there's some bumps down there in the second groove for turn 1 that if you do not know where they are and can't figure out the correct way to enter that corner, you hit those bumps and the car is just not going to turn anymore, and you will really have to jump out of the gas and make it quite easy to get by you on the inside.
Yeah, there's a bump going down in the 1 in that third lane up there. That is, I think it's a motocross jump they actually put out there. So, I don't know, maybe Travis Pastrana should go out there and test that for us, because, man, I tell you, every time I've hit that thing, I've almost launched over the catch fence. So, it's definitely pretty bumpy there, but at the same time, down at the bottom, it's very, very smooth. So, if you can get to the bottom, it's good, but there is options. That's the one thing this track gives you as a driver. Do you have a little bit of options, especially in turn 1 and in turn 3? Turn 2, kind of not much option there, since it's tail turn, just kind of got to carry the most speed in apex right there. But turn 3 and turn 1, major options as a driver from what you want to run line-wise.
Yeah, turn 2, it's more of a corner of bravery. I think the braver you are, the quicker you can be there. And you can make the outside of turn 2 work if you just happen to be a little bit braver than the guy that you've got inside of you. But if somebody wants to make it difficult on you, yeah, incredibly hard place to run side by side, definitely doable, but obviously inside going to be quite preferred there. Turn 3, though, there's a little bit more options there as well. I've seen some races where everybody just keeps it painted to the grass and, you know, runs the corner right up against the grass. But I've also seen other races, guys swinging all the way out near the fence and carrying a tremendous amount of speed off, and it just seems to be the fastest way around the corner. And haven't seen anybody venture out there too far just yet, but I think once the tires really start to wear down, maybe guys get a little bit more loose out of turn 3. Might see some guys start to widen out the corner just a little bit.
Yeah, the corners here, like you said, it's almost a bravery corner there until you. And I tell you what, if you're too brave, you're going to end up in that wall like Malarkey did. As you see Malarkey coming into the picture actually here, as Malarkey has broke back into the top 10, as he was able to get around Steven Rasick, as Michael Haru actually is making a pass on Richard Gonzalez, push him up to 8th. So Haru up to 8th from the 12th starting position. He's starting to go forward, as Malarkey now trying to break his way into the top 9.
Looking at the times here, not the best lap time for Malarkey, but going to be a little bit quicker than Richard Gonzalez directly ahead of him. About a 10th slower than Michael Haru, but Haru way up the track in turn 1 here, going to allow Malarkey to close in some of that distance. I believe quickest cars on the track right now, it's going to be last time by Anthony Gaudio in the 3rd position. About a 10th quicker than the 2 drivers ahead of him, Stephen Carey and Chris Smerl, in 2nd and 1st place. So 3 car, not the best restart, but slowly on the move now.
I think that's something we've seen with that 3 car. He seems to be a driver that always gets better as the race goes on, and seems to really take care of his stuff. You got to give Anthony credit for that, as this time we go by. Oh, that lap was not good for himself, and a great lap for Smerl out front, as he was able to stretch the gap pretty sizable that last time by there, Brandon. And if Smerl can keep putting laps like that down, he is looking for that 6th win here tonight for sure.
Well, absolutely. It's just a matter of how long can you consistently put up laps that quick before you just got to back it off, because the tires aren't there anymore, and allow those guys to reel in the time that you've been able to extend on them here. And I think Pocono, it's just so much just being so consistent with your lines, not varying too much in your speeds on entry, on exit, getting consistent lap times, and hoping guys are just overdriving it ahead of you there. Because one bad corner here, one really bad corner can completely ruin your lap, even if you hit the other 2 corners the best you've hit them all race.
Well, we're nearing a pit stop window. Lap 20 will definitely open up for that one-stop strategy. The 2-stop strategy is definitely already opened up. And I believe it's looking like the one-stop is definitely going to be the thing for all these drivers out here, Brandon. I think looks like one-stop is what it's going to be. Now the key is when do you stop? And I think if you can go longer, that just benefits you.
I think you're exactly right. Looking at the fall off here, it's about half a second from the start of the race on the fresh tires based on what these guys ran for their best laps here. So the undercut, it's gonna play a factor, but the tires don't seem to fall off too much anyway, so you're only gonna get about half a second every lap. And you can make the undercut work, but I think, like you said, having pressure tires at the end, especially if you're somebody like Anthony Gaudio who's able to take care of them and get more out of them, I think that is 100% the way to go.
Yeah, that time by there, only 7/10 there of fall off from the start of this race on lap 6. 16 lap full tires. So personally, that is not much for Pocono. This place, past Brandon, from experience, this place has been one of the worst for actually wear because just how long the racetrack is. It's 2.5 miles, so 15 laps here is way more than 15 laps at a normal mile and a half, and it's pretty similar to that. So you usually see pretty extreme tire wear and fall off, but looking like the fall off not too bad there, especially for our leader out front, as it hasn't hit a second yet. And if you can keep yourself without falling off more than a second over a whole run, that's pretty good.
That's exceptional for sure, and I have to think it's just due to the handling characteristics of the car that the tires aren't falling off that much, because you can't really overdrive these as hard as you can, say the Cup car that we're going to see in a little bit, or maybe even the Xfinity cars. There's so much off throttle time here that you're able to save without really saving too much. Of course, you can always still overdrive, but it's lending to pretty consistent lap times over the life of the tire. And especially right now, Chris Sproul making really good use of that last time by, just over, a 10th quicker than Anthony Gaudio, who was a little under a 10th quicker than Stephen Carey, who he has now caught.
Yeah, he's all over the back of that 83 now here for the second position. I tell you who else has fell in line too is Upbrook. He's looking to possibly get himself up into a top 3 position as there goes Gaudio to the inside, is right on the front bumper of the 16 Matt Upbrook. And there you see that it changes over to the hands of Anthony Gaudio. He is now your second place man. See if he can take any chunk of time out of that leader up front. Let's see if Upbrook can have something for Carey here as the closing laps here before the pit stops happen.
Well, just last time by, Chris Sproul 1 second exactly off of his best lap time, so they're finally getting to that second mark here. I'll have to see now with Anthony Gaudio getting pretty much clean air, not being directly behind Stephen Carey, how much that dirty air is hurting these guys out here as far as speed goes, and see if he can more evenly pace Chris Sproul ahead of him here, maybe just get a little bit better. But like you said, pit stops going to be coming up here shortly. Got about a lap and a half to the halfway point here. See if guys want to come in right at halfway, or maybe take it a lap or 2 extra if they have the fuel to do so.
Yeah, I think you want to take it as far as you possibly can. I think that's just going to be your best bet. If you get a caution, then you re-rack back up, you got fresher tires. I always like that situation. That time by, Gaudio was quicker, but it was only by a couple hundredths of a second.
Well, it just tells me that if these two, if we get a restart and they can be side by side, not have to worry about passing guys and stay 1-2, they're going to be extremely even on pace. And again, it's going to come down to just when you time this pit stop. If you have the fresh tires, even a lap or 2, it seemed to make a pretty big difference at the end of the run and being right on top of each other. I think that's going to be the way to go here, is try to time it to where you get the freshest tires at the end, because right now he's slowly reeling in Sproul, but even tires, it's just not quite enough. It's only hundreds, it seems, every lap.
There's the battle for the 6th position as Edwards is caught to the back of James right here. As remember, Edwards points leader entering tonight. Here is he's running that 7th position, looking to break into the top 6, and not too far ahead is Justin Hendry. He could break into the top 5 before this thing's over with. And David Orders our points leader. I mean, he's been kind of doing this every week. He starts, about 10th, 12th, and just slowly drives his way into the top 5, and that equals good points nights, and that's why he's so consistent and has the points lead.
Yeah, I think made it a little bit more difficult with that incident early on with the 81 of Jeff Carson, but currently still has a 24-point lead over Chris Sproul, but it just seems like each and every week he's given up a small handful of points to the 14, really trying to minimize that here. Still has a good bit of time. We're only now halfway in the race, up to 7th. If he gets a caution, which I think he desperately wants one to just close this gap back in, I think he might have something for these guys.
Looking here now, David Edwards still with 20 to go. This is the window. James Wright directly behind him still. As it looks like, yeah, Stephen Carey, I was about to say, the position Edwards went up to 5th. And, yeah, Carey now hitting pit road. So right at the halfway point, he's decided the first one to flinch. He's going to utilize the undercut. I think he said, I'm losing too much time. I need to hit pit road. As I tell you what, the 2 leaders up front, they have almost matched each other in lap time the last few times by, Brandon. If these two, like you said, can get a restart and get together, it's going to be a heck of a battle, because last time by, only I think 0.02 of a second separating our top 2. Is it looks like Smirol coming into pit this time. Does Anthony Gaudio follow? Yes, he does in the 3. He comes down. Matt Ulbrook going to stay out in the 16.
And Anthony Gaudio gained a big chunk of time there, being a lot more aggressive on pit entry than Chris Smirol. So we'll have to see how close they are when they come back out here. The gap was 2 seconds when they both decided to come in. See who gets the better pit stop here and maybe close that gap or jump the other on this pit stop cycle. But David Edwards now up to 2nd. Matt Upbrook leading here. Malarkey up to 3rd in points. See how long they stretch it out. Or
now,
excuse me, in position, not points.
Yeah, I think, you know, the thing there at pit road, you see Smirol lose a little bit of time there to Gaudio on entry. Now, Brandon, do you think that's a little bit of where Anthony can kind of base himself off of Smirol, where Smirol, he's kind of got a guess coming to pit road. He's kind of got to know his breaking point, where Anthony can kind of see, okay, I can gain a little bit of time here and I gain a little bit of time there. So if, you know, are you the type of driver that, you know, can utilize when you're behind someone entering pit road, or is that something you think it was just coming down to really just hitting their marks?
I think it's a driver comfort thing. Generally, going into a race, I'm trying to figure out where there's a break point that I feel comfortable with, because you absolutely don't want to try to grab too much on a pit stop and get that penalty. Just where you feel comfortable that you can kind of be aggressive, but not overly aggressive. If you need to give it a little bit more break, you can. And knowing, okay, this is the absolute limit. If I mess up trying to go in this deep, then it's going to be a penalty every time. You just give yourself a little bit of space. And Anthony Gaudio a little bit more aggressive on entry, whereas it looked like Smirol opted to be a little bit more conservative. And that gap between the 3 and the 14 has grown to an incredible margin here. It looks like Chris Smirol laying down qualifying lap times out here on these fresh tires.
He really has opened up that gap there. As David Edwards still yet to pit. He's coming out of 3 right now. I think he'll definitely be hitting it this time here. Yeah, it'll be coming to complete lap 23. So he did 23 laps. He'll have 17 to go when he crosses the line here when he comes to pit road. Same with Matthew Dew. Looks like Matthew Dew going to stay out another lap, as he'll come by and look to complete 24 laps. So that's going to be interesting to see. And the only thing I'm worried about is there going to be an issue for Stephen Carey stopping at lap 20? You know, they said the one stop is doable, but not many guys went too much farther than what I would think would be for a green flag situation. So with those caution laps, I would think they saved it a little bit. Maybe Stephen Carey might be in a little bit of trouble. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, especially with our leaders. I think they were just trying to stay with each other. I think that was the game plan for Anthony Gaudio, just stick with the 14. But we have seen a few other guys decide to stay out a little bit longer. We know we had Malarkey and Matthew Dude pit on lap 3. Malarkey now coming in this time by, so they had a little bit more fuel than the rest of these guys. But it's a very good question. If we don't get a caution here, you know, is Stephen Carey just going to run out of gas and be maybe coasting on fumes trying to get back around here?
Well, Stephen Carey is hoping that doesn't happen for sure, as he'll be coming by this time here to look to be taking, I believe, 15 to go. And man, it's such a tough decision. You want to be able to undercut and get in front of the guys, especially when you're struggling. Like, you know, Carey was going backwards. I think he said, you know what, I just need to come down here, get some new tires and get some clean track. But it's in a tough position because you don't ever know when the timing is going to be exactly perfect.
It's we're going to have to pay attention to it. And right behind him, Anthony Gaudio, they cycled, Stephen Carey cycled ahead of him just as Anthony came out of the pits. Anthony's just been riding behind him for a while, but he set his fastest lap of the race last time by. And it looks like they've got about 4 seconds, just under 4 seconds now to Chris Sproul ahead of them. So Chris Sproul able to pick up about 1.5 seconds through that pit cycle. Now even gaining more on that gap going down to turn 3 here. So Anthony Gaudio, I don't think he can save as much this time. I think he's going to really have to get out and use those tires up to try to catch Chris. But he did that last time by, especially setting down his quick lap.
We'll have to see what type of lap time he can produce here once he's gotten past Stephen Carey. Here's Carey getting a little bit of draft, pulling up to that almost back bumper region. And, man, what a battle we have ensuing here. It looks like Sproul going to have to hold off this 3, but can the 3 catch him? I don't know. That's the question. And Matthew Dude just coming off pit road. So this time by, it should cycle with Sproul, our leader, when he crosses the line.
I'm actually quite impressed looking at Stephen Carey here. A couple lap older tires, hanging pretty well with the 3, actually holding him up a couple laps before that pass as well. See if he can hold on maybe to get this top 3 at the end, barring his fuel situation, and maybe just stay out of the reaches of Matt Upbrook. It looks like Matt Upbrook, though, about 5 seconds behind him here, so plenty of time for the 83 if even he needs to save some fuel at the end here.
You get a cool little shot here from our race leader of Sproul riding behind his tail end here as he exits out of turn 1 here, head down to turn 2. Got the lap car Jeff Carson here directly ahead, 22 laps down in the 16th position. Just didn't go well for our Cup Series winner last week as ARCA Series bad luck continues for the 81. Hopefully that can change for him.
Well, the good news is that he's going to be able to gain at least one more position here. I believe the 94 Steve Potter had an issue earlier, going to be 13 laps down, but I do not believe he is out on the track at the moment. So 10 laps behind Steve Potter, going to be able to get that before the end of the race here to move himself up to at least the 15th position. But again, horrible luck here. Definitely don't want to finish this far back after trying to ride on that momentum from that Cup Series win last week.
Oh, man, he's going to come 2 laps short of getting Zach Sandlin out there. And Sandlin is actually turning laps, so it wouldn't have too much of an effect there. But, yeah, up and down, that shows you how 1 week can go from amazing to just, man, I don't know what to do. I can't do anything different, and stuff still happened to me. It just seems like you can never get away from something when it happens, and that's unfortunate for the 81, but he'll rebound back after the speed he's definitely shown, especially in the Cup Series.
Oh yeah, like you were saying, sometimes it's top of the mountain, and then the very next week you're buried under it. But that's racing. That's how it goes. And Jeff, pretty upbeat guy, so I'm sure he's going to be excited to come back next week at Milwaukee and see if he can maybe contend for a win up there and try to figure out a way to get past his bad luck. Saw something a lap ago, Zach. Stephen Carey looked like he got pretty loose out of 2. Came over the radio and said, "Oh boy!" So I think he's starting to have some fun out there with the tires slowly giving up, but still hanging pretty strong with 2nd place Anthony Gaudio.
Yeah, it seems like these cars are pretty slick out there for these guys, and Carey, they're having to hold on to it and definitely starting to lose the back end of that 3. As Gaudio continues to stretch the gap with 12 to go, coming to 11 to go, with Sproul entering 3 and just about to exit here to take 11 laps to go. And man, with 11 to go here, the gap 4 seconds, it's going to take something big here from this 3 to be able to make up the difference.
I think it's going to take a caution, or it's going to take a big mistake out of the 14 to close up that gap. And just looking back through the field here, Zach, really the 2 closest battles it seems like we've got on track just give you an idea of how spread out these drivers are. We've got Anthony Gaudio and Stephen Carey only about half a second between them, and then back to David Edwards and Justin Malarkey, about a second between them. Everybody else, a second or more gap between them. Everybody pretty much just kind of riding around by themselves, turning laps.
Malarkey's out here on a redemption tour, trying his best to climb back up through the field in that 73. You got to remember, he stayed out a lot longer than a lot of other people, And same for David Edwards. So I could see these guys possibly running down Hendry. I don't know about Upbrook. I think Upbrook's too far, but we'll have to see.
Well, looking at the times, it's a little over, I think, half a second to the advantage for David Edwards for Justin Hendry in that 5th position here. But I think the gap is about a second now. So I think there might still be time, but it's definitely going to be running out.
Well, it looks like the gap between our leaders is definitely increasing still at the moment to 4.3 seconds. With 10 to go, Smarola's got to really do everything he can not to make a mistake, in my opinion. Like, he just can't push too hard out here, in my opinion. That's a giant lead with 10 laps to go here at Pocono. He could back it down a whole notch.
Exactly. If you are out here and feel like, you know, you've had to build this gap, work hard, work the tires to the cords to try to build out this gap here, you can afford now to just back it up a little bit. Make sure you're getting speed in the corners, but not enough to make a mistake and force Gaudio to have to drive hard and put himself at risk for those mistakes to catch you. And just make sure you cross the line to get this win. Don't ever try to grab too much here, but Chris got a lot of experience. Absolutely. I'm sure he could push it a little bit harder if he wanted to, and he's actually looking, following him around the track, looking pretty flawless, not even a hint of a wiggle out of the 14.
Yeah, he's been pretty much flawless all race long at 14. I tell you what, the winner from last week, Anthony Gaudio, he's selling the pole. He's their pace is so similar, Brandon. It's unfortunate he can't be close enough to make this battle happen, because I really think if he was close enough, we could see some side-by-side racing between these two. And the thing is also to the point, back to the point of Smarol, you know, backing it up a notch and just making sure no mistakes here. He can also save tires, because guess what? If caution comes out, you're going to want to have better tires than the guy behind you.
Absolutely. And, you know, he may have burned him up just a little bit, stretching out this lead, but being able to back it up and really get him cooled down, even if you back it up so much that Anthony's able to catch you or you get that late caution, they're going to have a little bit more wear in them, but they're not going to be that hot, especially, and that is still going to be to your advantage for what would look like, even if we got a caution right now, I believe would play out to be an unofficial green-white checkered, but you're in that ballpark where you're only going to have to go a couple laps anyway.
That's where it gets really interesting with a green-white checkered. I mean, the thing is, there's no tires, so the guys are gonna have, if they need fuel, they're just going to take fuel, and they're going to get a track position. And guys that could possibly save enough, I mean, it's definitely interesting if a green-white checker was to come out, man.
Well, looking at it now, how spaced out everybody is, I think it's going to come down to a single driver's error to bring this one out here. Everybody's looking pretty calm on the track. Not really any big wiggles out of anybody once these tires have gotten up to temp, so I just don't see that happening unless maybe somebody just overdrives a ton and knocks the wall down and spins out that way. But I think if there was a hope for a caution, it went out the window quite a while ago, as now everybody just super flawless, and Anthony Gaudio trying to figure out a way. He's got a little bit more pace, just not enough time, Zach.
Oh yeah, the pace is coming to him here as the run goes on, and that time they're losing 2/10, but the time before, man, he gained.
Oh man.
Our second, or Nissan Central caution of the night.
Zach Sandlin.
Looks like the 57 is Zach Sandlin there, like Brandon said, involved in that incident, running the 14th position, 19 laps down, as well. To go back on the freaky fast replay and see exactly what happened with the 57 here. Is looked like it was an issue coming out 2, got loose, and then heading down to 3 here. I think he had already heated the rears up, and you can see just drifting through turn 3, lighting his tires up. Oh, he's going to try to swing it back to the right to stay out of the pit wall. Here comes the pit barrels, though. Good job of him by hitting nothing. But man, second caution of the night. Nobody has tires. Guys who stayed out longer are licking their chops.
Well, nobody has tires, but Sandlin definitely not having tires after lighting him up there. Great job staying out of the wall, but I hate to tell you, Zach, but it's not Formula Drift out here.
No, it's not. That was a pretty nice little smoke show we got there in turn 3. And it's definitely going to hurt those tires. And remember, one set of tires, like you said there, that's going to kill them things. I mean, Sandlin's already looking at 9 laps down. He's kind of in a spot where he's just trying to hold position in 14th and not lose out to Potter or Carson. And at this point, he cannot.
And I believe this time by it will allow Jeff Carson to get that lap advantage over Steve Potter on pit road to move himself up to the 15th position. Man, this changes everything. If Chris saved anything, we're going to know for sure here. And if Anthony was able to save anything, we're going to see the same. It's going to be some bumper-to-bumper racing. These guys finally getting close to each other. I'm sure Anthony's licking his chops in the car right now.
Oh, he is one happy camper right now. That's for sure. I mean, it's gave him a chance now. He's got every bit of chance anybody else does. And now, he's within reaching distance. Before, it was going to have to take a mistake from Smerol. And from Smerol, that's not very common.
No, it really isn't, but I think it's still going to come down to a mistake from Smerol. But now Anthony's in the position where he can put the pressure on Smerol to force a mistake. And we'll have to see. He's got to nail this restart here. I don't know if we're going to have much question about wheel spin on the start, but the tires are pretty old. These things get pretty loose. I'll have to see. Maybe somebody spins the tires here on our front row and causes an issue.
Man, this is going to be pretty intense coming down here to the end as we still got the pace car lights on. Well, man, here at Four to Go, anybody you wanna talk to out there in the race, Brandon?
Well, let me see. We could pull up Stephen Carey here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring up our third place man here from that third position in the 83, and let's hear what he has to say about starting here third with a little bit older tires. So here's Stephen Carey, your third place man.
Hey, Steven, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, man, pit a little bit earlier than everybody else. We were concerned about your fuel, but I think with this caution, definitely going to be able to make it. You got the cap closed with this caution here. Do you think you've got the tires left to contend with these guys ahead of you?
I was saving a little bit, but I mean, to be honest, I mean, Christopher, he's got really good pace. Me and Anthony are pretty close, but yeah, I was backing it down a little bit just to be sure. I mean, it looked like I was going to be about half a gallon to the good, so it was going to be really close, but yeah, we'll see how it is. Maybe I can, maybe get a steal here.
Well, wish you the best of luck, man. Been fun so far. You were able to hang there with Anthony after he cycled out for his pits for quite a long time before you started backing it down. So I think maybe not the lead, but I think you got a good shot at second. Let you get back down there and get ready to restart this one here. And good luck again, bud.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, that was Stephen Carey, your third place man here as we ride on board with him. Man, you can hear it. He's got a shot at this. I mean, on the older tires, but he says, you never know how it plays out in front of you, and it could play out perfectly. He definitely was a little bit worried. I could tell feel there. Like he said, he thinks he's a half gallon to the good, and a half a gallon to good. Whew, that's close here at Pocono.
It absolutely is, and yeah, we were concerned about it, and I guess our concerns were pretty well founded there. Definitely going to be saving a decent bit under caution here. If we get another attempt at a green white checkered, might be a little bit worried for him, but I think for this initial start here, if we can go to the end, definitely going to have enough fuel in that 83.
Well, man, this is where I get nervous every time. You're coming down to the end. This isn't going to be a green white checkered start, but I guess, I mean, it's going to be a green, the white, then the checkered. So our first unofficial green white checker of the night will be coming up here next as we pace down the back straightaway, head down to turn 2 for a short shoot down to 3. If Gaudio has a chance, where does he get it done?
I think he's going to have to match the restart and try to hold the inside as best he can all the way to turn 2. If he can somehow get to the inside in turn 2, I don't think Smurl's going to have the grip to be able to make the outside work as well as he'd need to stay even on the exit of 2. And I think that's where Anthony's going to be able to get it done, is just figuring out a way to be in that position.
Will he be in that position? We'll have to find out here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you all for tuning in. As we always say, it's been a pleasure here to call the Evolution Racing League's ARCA Evolution Series here tonight at the Pocono Raceway for the Pocono 40. As we're getting ready to bring it all to a close, the pace car in this time.
Oh,
whoa, big jump and green flag in the air. 3 wide carry to the inside here as we ride on board with him with 2 to go as they head down towards the front straightaway.
Stephen Carey, that was probably the most well-timed restart I have ever seen.
What a move. And look, small roll up the racetrack. Carey clears off a turn number 1. The 83 with the lead. Gaudio side by side with Smirol down the back straightaway. Here comes Carey with the block. Gaudio to the inside here. Looks like a big move for the 3 as they're going to be coming to the white flag down into the tunnel turn. Can he make it stick? Oh, man, side by side, 3 wide. Gaudio clears. He's to the lead. Now a battle for second and ensues off of turn 2.
And here comes Upbrook, 3 wide into 3 now. This is exactly what Gaudio wants to see in his mirror. These guys battling. Look at David Edwards coming up into the mix now.
Remember, Edwards on the fresher tires. They're staying out longer. Same with Malarkey in the 73.
Oh, no.
There's a little contact. 83 of Carey and the 14 of Smirol. 2 of our top 3 contenders involved in that. That's going to really hurt them as the Sheffield Graphics white flag waves in the air for the final time as Anthony Gaudio looks to go back-to-back down into turn 1.
Man, that was a great restart from the 83 there, but Gaudio taking advantage, not letting himself get blocked out of turn 1 there. Almost to the apron before we get to 2. They're still battling now teammates for second place here, and Malarkey just lurking behind them.
Yes, the Donkey Punch racing teammates racing down into the tunnel turn. Remember, they have fresher tires. Malarkey makes the pass, slides up into 4th into the tunnel turn. Oh, no, and off of 2 here. Here comes Upbrook into the wall. There goes Edwards by. Here comes Malarkey to the inside. Can he make it work?
Don't know if he's going to be able to. I think the run's going to be for the 16 here to hold on to 3rd position.
Yes, it is. Checker flag waves in the air. Your race winner is going to be Anthony Gaudio. 2nd's going to go to David Edwards. With 3rd, bring it home, Matt Upbrook. What a finish there. As, man, Pocono got wild there in the last few moments, and Anthony Gaudio is able to come out here as a back-to-back winner here at the ARCA Evolution Series. Gotta feel for Smirol there, Brandon, I think. But, man, you gotta also feel for Anthony Gaudio making the moves he did. And what a move from Carey. Unfortunately, getting a little bit of contact there from the 14 in the rear bumper. And those 2 having not the greatest finish to their own race.
Yeah, that's just seeing, the gap that you had closed up. You've got a shot out of here. If you've got anything left, you have got to leave it all out on the track. They tried to do that. Unfortunate contact there. Like you said, heartbreaker for Smirol. Really had dominant pace there. Late caution. I think if it weren't for that caution, Smirol easily winning this race here. But, these late cautions seem to happen quite a bit, and just on the wrong side of it this time for the 14.
The 3's on the right side of it again this week. After winning at Kentucky, he will come here to the Pocono Raceway. Somewhat of a home track here for this man, too, and pull off the victory. So he's going to do celebration here on the front straightaways. You see him lighten up the rear tires here in the 3. We'll be right back in a few moments, everybody, as we get our top 3 finishers and have a chat with them. All right, we're back here, everybody, for our post-race interview segment of tonight's broadcast as we got our top 3 finishers from tonight here at the Pocono Raceway for the ARCA Evolution Series. First up is our man in third place, Matt Upbrook. What a finish for him and the Donkey Punch Racing crew as they were able to bring home second and third here tonight, and a good team race for themselves as we'll hear what Upbrook has to say and how he got in position here. Hey, Matt, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man? Hey, Matt, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy? Looks like we may be having some issues here with Matt Upbrook's Discord audio, so we will try to come back to Upbrook here in a second. We'll go ahead and move on to our second place finisher, David Edwards, since Upbrook's having a few little issues right now. Maybe we'll try him out here after that, and then hopefully we'll get a chat with him. But here is your second place finisher, David Edwards. Hey, David, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy? Hey, David, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Jack.
Hey, David, man. Well, great to have you back up here in the top 3, man. Still leader of the points so far this season. And, man, I tell you what, it seems like you staying out there longer on that really come back to help you there with them fresher tires. Able to maneuver your way up into second there, man. Describe to us that wild finish there at the end.
Yeah, man, coming to the white, that was a clustered up front, man. I don't know how more of us wasn't collected, but with early caution there, trying to play the fuel game, hopefully you just, honestly, I stayed out just to get the extra point to lead a lap because I figured Chris is the car to beat here, so I needed to gain every point I could, but somehow it just worked out in my favor.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, it definitely did there. You played the strategy right, getting the top off there and then going longer than anybody, and taking those tires late. It definitely came back to help you there, man. And I tell you what, now we head off to Milwaukee Miles for some short track racing. We haven't hit a short track in a while. How you feeling about that, David?
I think there's going to be a lot of practicing this week.
I can definitely agree with that, man. I mean, here Pocono turn 3 based off of Milwaukee, so you guys got a little bit of practice maybe here tonight, man. But definitely going to need some for there because that place is definitely bumpy and tricky as you guys hit there next week, man. But congrats on second here tonight, David. Before we let you go, man, anybody wants to shout to?
Thank you guys for putting this on. It's finally glad to be back here talking to you guys. It's been a while. My wife for letting me do this on Tuesday nights. Everybody at Donkey Punch Motorsports and Slide Jobs Racing. Too many to name. Matt and Richard putting in the work. Curtis and GT and all them helping us out. Sheffield and it's just I can't thank everybody enough. And we'll go see what we can do at the Milwaukee.
Awesome stuff, David, man. Well, congrats on second here tonight, buddy, and hopefully we can continue to have momentum on.
Thanks, sir.
All right, that was David Edwards, your points leader. Remember that guy, man? Like you said, not been up in the top 3 a lot lately, but I tell you what, if he can get that momentum back swinging in his court, he can definitely stop that bleeding that he's been suffering in the points lately. And tonight, definitely gaining on some rolls. So good points tonight for that 15, and looking to lock that up before we go into playoffs as the regular season champion. But let's go back to our third place man now of Matt Upbrook, see if he has got everything fixed out, and if not, we'll go into our leader. But let's see if Upbrook has anything to say about third place tonight. Hey, Matt, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, I apologize about that. My push to talk was not working, so I had to reset it.
Hey, man, all good, all good. We understand technical issues up here, and it definitely happens sometimes, man. But I tell you what, great finish of the race there for you, man. You were up in the top 5 for really the majority of the race, qualified there, and just kind of stuck in that 3rd to 4th, 5th place area. And then, down there at the end, you guys went a little bit longer than some of the other guys with the pit strategy, and it seemed to really play out for you there pretty well as that restart got pretty wild.
Yeah, that last restart was a little bit crazy. But overall, I love this track and felt that the car was fast. Did some practice. Thanks to my teammates, Curtis for spotting for me and David and Mr. Gonzalez. I think we had a good showing for our team tonight.
Oh, you definitely did. Yeah, you got the 2-3 finish here tonight. I think it was very, very impressive, for you guys. And, good to see the momentum swing back for you guys at Donkey Punch because it's been definitely, I'd say, not the nicest few weeks for you guys there in the team. So how does it feel to come out here tonight and probably get what you feel like you kind of, deserve some weeks that you probably haven't got?
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's finishing races. We had a string of bad luck there, whether we're getting caught up and stuff. We definitely have the cars. We're fast enough, and hopefully this is a sign of good things to come.
I hope so, man. I definitely tell you what, you guys are looking good tonight, and congrats on that third and second place finish for you and David. It was really, really fun to watch out there. But before we let you go, Matt, anybody want to send a shout out to for your third place finisher tonight?
Yeah, of course. Just want to thank all my teammates. Thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a great job. Look forward to my teammates here later on.
Awesome stuff, Matt. Well, congrats on third, and we'll catch you next week at the Milwaukee Mile.
All right, thank you.
Yep, you have a great night. All right, that was Matt Upbrook, your third place finisher here tonight for Donkey Punch Racing. But now we'll move on to our back-to-back winner here, four-time winner of the season. This guy is on a roll, and I'll tell you what, we're getting near the playoffs. We only got 4 weeks left. He's starting to kick it in that playoff mode. He could be the guy to beat when it all comes down to the end. Let's hear what Anthony Gaudio has to say. Hey, Anthony, Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy.
How about that?
Hey, how about that, man? First off, how's it feel to go back to back? And not only that, but the home track for you, buddy.
Oh, it feels great. I'm very lucky. I mean, I for sure 99.9% sure that Chris was going to win this race, and so hats off to him for running up front all race. And that was one hell of a restart. Steven, balls of steel.
Yeah. That then, and kind of go into that because, Kerry made the really aggressive move on the start to go through wide. He makes the pass, but then you set them all up coming out of one to get down to the tunnel turn, and you make the amazing pass. I mean, describe the feelings of emotions there from sliding, from second back to third, then back to the lead.
That was unreal. It's like I had this surge of just energy in the car coming out of one, and I was just side drafting Chris, and I got a slingshot, and I was just enough momentum to get my nose on Steven, and I was able to get the preferred line in the tunnel turn, and that was awesome feeling. I'm not gonna lie, that was great.
Oh man, it was fun to watch up here. I can't wait for you to go back and see it because it was a heck of a pass. Like you said, it definitely took balls of steel there for sure to do that one. So congrats on that. Now this is huge, man. Fourth win of the season, back to back. We only got 4 races left before we hit the playoffs. You're looking pretty strong right now before these playoffs kick off. How does that feel? And do you feel like you can kind of continue this into the playoffs?
That's definitely a confidence booster for sure. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing and continue this roll into the playoffs, and I should be there at the end, competing for the championship, and that would be awesome.
Hey, that's no doubt, man. The 3 has been a force to be reckoned with each week. Like Brandon said when he talked to you about the poll earlier, about the top 3 finishes. You're continuing that on, so consistency is what's going to get it done, buddy. So we'll have to see what happens once we get to this playoffs. But I'm definitely excited for that and these next 4 weeks leading up to it, man. But congrats on the win here and going back to back, Anthony. Before we let you go, man, who makes it happen for you?
Shout out to my team, JCR Racing, always giving us fast cars, and again, my family, dad back home cheering me on again, like always. I mean, that's really it. And, for you guys, I mean, you guys are the best. You put on a great show for everyone, and all the spectators, they really appreciate you guys.
Well, Anthony, we appreciate you drivers out there in the league here. It's been definitely a great time, man, and we can't wait to catch you guys next week at Milwaukee, buddy. So congrats on the win, and we'll catch you at Milwaukee Mile.
I'll see you there.
All right, buddy. You have a great night.
You too.
All right, that was Anthony Gaudio, your race winner here tonight. Brought to you by Sheffield Graphics here at the Pocono Raceway. What a win it was. But gosh, this guy go back-to-back 4 wins this season. He's on a roll. Let's go ahead and bring up our race results here tonight. As man, what a race. That restart just got me so amped up. As there it is, our race results now. As you can see where your favorite drivers finished tonight. Anthony Gaudio bringing that back-to-back victory home after a late wild restart. Second's going to go for our points leader, David Edwards, after a great job by him on the final restart to drive up through. Teammate Matt Oprich will come in third. Fourth's going to be Justin Malarkey after a recovery drive for him. Fifth's going to go to Justin Hendry. Sixth's going to be Matthew Dude. Seventh's going to go to Richard Gonzalez. Eighth's going to be Steven Rasick. Ninth's going to be Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. 10th's going to go to Christopher Smoreau after somewhat of a dominant race here. Definitely not playing out the way he wants at the end. James right there in the 11th position. Stephen Carey, also a top 3 car for much of the night, going to come home in that 12th position after a late race contact there between him and the 14. The 13th is going to go to Michael Haru. 14th is going to be Zach Sandlin. 15th, Jeff Carson. And around your field in the 16th position is Steve Potter. As that is your race results here tonight from the ARCA Evolution Series here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. Man, Brandon, what a night we've had here to start off so far. It's just been wild action, and can't wait to see how this Cup Series happens. But, man, what can we expect next week at Milwaukee?
Well, I think short track tempers beat up race cars for sure. Milwaukee's pretty tough. Definitely going to have to be handling a loose race car, especially on the exit of those corners. These cars put down the power really well, even though they've got a little bit less power than some of the other cars that we drive. But looking forward to it, man. It's a historic old racetrack that puts on a lot of really great racing action.
And everybody, I appreciate y'all all for tuning in here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series. It's been a blast, like Brandon said, and can't wait to head off to the Milwaukee Mile. But don't forget, at 9:20 Eastern, we will be going live with the RSR Cup Series here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. This is the ARCA Series feeding into the Cup Series here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. So we'll get to see some more tricky triangle action. So make sure not to miss that here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting with me, Brandon, and Robert up in the booth. But we just want to tell you all, thank you all for tuning in. God bless you all, and peace out. We will catch you at 9:20 Eastern.
Bye, everybody.